We tried a lot of different mufflers for this little Suzuki Cafe Racer, and this muffler just came out to be the best. It's a little louder than the stock muffler, but it's still quiet enough that it shouldn't ever cause you any problems at all. And you can also hear the motor with this one. And it does have a little bit of back pressure, which is nice, so I don't think it'll affect your fuel injection too much. Okay, with this exhaust kit, we furnish the two mounting straps and these square bolts, and we supply this insert. We custom make this insert to go in there so it'll fill the gap between the pipe and the muffler, so it'll work out really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get started on this. What we want to do, we want to remove this strap right here. So just take that bolt off. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. You won't need that, so you can throw that away and this mounting bolt away, or keep it in your metric screws. We'll show you how to mount it to the motorcycle. The first thing we're going to do is to get rid of this triangular shaped bracket right here. So use a 14mm wrench. What I do is I put the box end on the back and the socket on this. It's always nice to push down when you tighten these bolts. That way you're not rocking the bike back and forth. So get in the habit of pushing down so you don't move the bike back and forth. It might come off the kickstand even though you've tied it like we showed you before. So go ahead and take this bolt out. And then these two. And then this bracket should come right off. You'll notice we won't be able to use our passenger foot peg, so whatever you do, don't put this pipe on if you plan on riding a passenger, but you can't with a Cafe Racer anyway, so take that off and then we'll continue. Next we're going to remove this screw right here. This is a 12mm. You could push that heat shield down a little bit if you want to get a socket in there. And then you can always use a box end wrench to get that one off, so go ahead and take that one out. It has some red Loctite, so it'll take a minute to unscrew that. Remove that. And then there's a clamping bolt under here, and I'm going to show you on this pipe here. This is the one that I took off earlier. If you'll look underneath the heat shield, it's this 12mm clamping bolt right there. So you can reach under there and just loosen this up. You know, go ahead and loosen it about 7 or 8, 10 turns, whatever. Just to loosen that up, and that'll allow the pipe to slide off. You don't need to take this one off. Once you loosen that, the pipe should just rotate and slide off. And there you have it. We're ready to put our new pipe on. Okay, grab your new pipe, and what we'll do, we'll loosen this bracket just a little bit, this clamp, and just loosen that so it rotates. We have to leave it in place because we want to slide it over this. And then make sure you line up the slots in the aluminum spacer. It's kind of nice to have the slot match the slot on here. That way it'll give a little more clamping force. And then go ahead and just slide that on your bike. And we'll go ahead and put the straps on, tighten the clamp, and it'll be ready to go. Go ahead and grab your longer strap of the two. This is the long one, and you'll notice that the bend is coming out toward me. You want it, you don't want it going away. You want it to come out toward you like this. See how that bend comes out this way? So you want the bend to come out. And let's go ahead and just mount that to the bike right there with the screw that held the original triangular brace. Go ahead and screw that in a ways. We're going to leave this a little bit loose until we get all this stuff finished up. Now we're going to slide the square-headed bolt into the slot. And then you'll notice we supply these vibration-proof locking nuts. These are really nice because even the heat won't affect these, so be sure and use these. You want these to vibrate loose. Okay, what we'll do is we'll rotate the pipe around like this, and then go ahead and hook this strap onto that bolt, and put the nut on, and then I'll show you, we'll tighten this a little bit first, and then we'll do the second one. The reason that we do the one first is that you can get the wrench in there to tighten it up. Use either a 13mm or a 1/2 inch open-end wrench. It works the best. Go ahead and tighten this, but we're going to leave everything a little loose again, so keep everything just a little bit loose. Okay, I've mounted the bottom strap too. Remember, it bends out toward you too this way, this end. So go ahead and do that. Leave everything loose, but go ahead and install that, and then we're going to tighten all this up at one time. Okay, the first thing we're going to tighten up is this band down here. We want to tighten that first because that'll kind of situate the pipe up and down wise, make it the right angle. So what I want you to do, I want you to force it forward as much as you can while you tighten that, because you want that pipe to be up against that little flange down there. And then watch this. Make sure that the clamp doesn't go over this aluminum part, because if it does, it won't clamp on the steel. So make sure it's just a little bit shy of that. And then also you may want to rotate the bolt underneath just a little bit like that, so that as you look at this pipe from the side, you don't see that bolt hanging down. I think it just looks a lot cleaner if it bolts kind of underneath. So go ahead and snug that up first, and then go ahead and tighten all these. And then you may want to even do that one more time just before you finish. Tighten that good and tight, because you don't want that leak right around there. So make sure everything's tight, and there you have a nice looking pipe, and you'll love the sound. Okay, the one thing I've done too is there's no sense in having this foot peg on the other side, so I've removed it too. It'll just kind of clean up the bike.